Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in with some JRPG controversy. So Persona 5, The Royal, is in the news because of some absolutely critical changes that are coming to the English release of the game. I'm showing the affected scenes here on the side of the screen, and here are the details that you need to know. Allow me to read. The scenes in question revolve around Ryuji and his interactions with a pair of gay dudes who are aggressively hitting on him. The first scene takes place in a kind of sketch part of town, and the second scene takes place at a beach. The current word is that the Atlus project manager, Yu Namba, acknowledged the characters as being portrayed as predatory or more predatory, and then continued with, I think the community had a very strong response to that, and you saw that, and that was definitely altered for Royal. So the end result, two short comedic scenes where gay people are being played up for a laugh are being altered in some way. The degree of the alteration we do not know yet. So how has the internet reacted? Well, all kinds of ways. Some are drawing the line in the sand and they're keeping up the fight against censorship based on principle. Others are saying that this is the better move since it can improve what was otherwise a problematic representation. And beyond that, others are getting into even more specific levels using points like, if it happens in real life we can show it here, or the game depicts Kamoshida as terrible so it can depict these guys as creepy, and then to that there are people defending with, the problem isn't that they're creeps, but that 2 of the 3 alternative people in the game are creeps. This point just has to do with the impact of the depiction and breaks down into whether Lala is enough to balance out the other 2. Other people point out that this is a small scene in the grand scheme of things, and then people say either keep it as is because it's so small or change it because it's so small and wouldn't have that big of an effect. And then other people pointed out that they would at least give the player the opportunity to be able to save Ryuji. So there's been a lot of conversation generated because of the topic, and I also heard that there was some harassment coming out of a specific forum on the internet, but I haven't been able to confirm that. Just keep that in mind, because if you look at some of the commentary, some people are bringing that up when they're arguing against this change. Here are my thoughts. Atlus is doing this because of the money. They've done a cost-benefit analysis, I'm sure, and I'm sure they've come to a conclusion that they think they're going to make money on this. Why do I think that? Well, Yu Namba was recorded as saying, on our end, it took a lot of effort consulting not just the production department, but talking with our marketing and how they would feel about it if we changed how things were in Persona 5 to this new way. What would the public reception be? What would the company think? Whether it would be okay if we do make the change. They went to their marketing team, guys. Come on, they totally weighed the pros and cons here. Especially telling is that these changes aren't in the Japanese version. You can't convince me that this is solely based on goodwill. Like, this is clearly, they're just covering this little thing up. Putting a little bit of a band-aid on it. My next point. 2, majority of people aren't gonna care. The majority of product buyers don't really follow video gaming news. The scenes are also so small. If someone's picking up the game for the first time, they probably won't notice that the scenes were altered. Like, we're at a point where this change only makes the people that know about it feel better about it. On the note of change though, I sincerely doubt that this change is going to be drastic. In fact, I'm expecting people to get more bothered over how little was going to be changed. Now, the communication manager said that they're very on the pulse about what's right and what to do, but that tells me nothing about what their standard for right is. Or I don't care about the censorship argument. Like my channel, we cover changes that between manga and anime, light novel and anime. There's a lot of changes always occurring between adaptations, between mediums. It's a common thing. For me, changes are just a cool thing to talk about. It's always cool to track back why a change happened. In this case, if I want to get hung up about the changes coming to Persona 5, I can always just go back to YouTube and look at the original scenes. Like, this isn't censorship. The information is still there if you want to see it, and no critical idea is being censored here. It's just 2 throwaway scenes. Point is, the censorship argument is not the argument to use against me for this kind of topic. 5, the Japanese audio is probably going to be unaltered still. So if you're running the Japanese language track and you know how to speak it, you can probably still catch it. 6, I hope that they give us the option to save Ryuji. I know that when I was in that situation, I really appreciated that my friends didn't just leave me for dead and walk away without me while the guy was grinding up on me. So I really hope that they give me that option, because a good guy would save Ryuji. I don't think anyone can argue against that. Final point, my usual stance is, if it happens in real life, we can depict it in media. Old creepy guys do creepy things to younger guys. It happens. But when someone comes and comments that it sucks that 2 out of maybe 3 of the characters that happen to share your preference are depicted like creeps, They're right, it does suck, like legitimately. You can be empathetic to that, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. It's going to make some people feel pretty bad, and I can understand why those people would like something like this to be altered. Even if you disagree with changing the content, I believe that at the very least you could understand why people have hurt feelings over this. I don't think there's anything wrong with adjusting it out of kindness or anything like that. It's just two tiny scenes, like whatever, they're not even important to the story. That said, if there was some kind of harassment campaign, or if someone is acting in bad faith, then that ain't how you go about getting change done. And this time, I don't think it's a kindness, I think it's a calculated business move. I'm sure some people on staff legit want to soften the joke, but you don't talk to your marketing department when you're being kind. Now I'll leave you with some questions. How do you feel? Should they change it or not change it, and what are your reasonings going into it? Do you think it's just a bad precedent for people to have this much control over the final product, or do you think this is fine in the grand scheme of things? I would like to know where you lie down below. Next question, how do you think this scene would have been handled or received if it was on being hit on by two creepy guys and then the player just walked away from her and left her there like he did with Ryuji? How would that one work out? Me personally, my final thoughts, I'm ready to watch this whole thing burn. I don't think Atlus is going back on this, and I sincerely doubt that Atlus will actually make a giant change here. I have no reason to believe that they will. I think this is a situation where people that want better representation are going to be absolutely surprised at how out of touch Atlus can be. Yeah, I have no faith in this whatsoever. I don't think any party's going to win here aside from Atlus, who's going to be making the money. I also think the majority of people won't care because, again, they're tiny scenes. The majority of people are probably going to look at the scenes and be like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, as they're playing the game, and then just continue on with their life. Nothing will change. Player enjoyment won't suddenly shoot down to the ground. Like, it's just, that's not how that works. This is not how censorship conversations ever end out with people saying, oh man, I really wished that they were true to the original thing. No, the majority of people typically don't know. And that'll be great because then I can talk more about what differences have occurred. When it comes to Atlus, I wouldn't be surprised if they thought this was going to get them more money, or at the very least not lose them any money. That's just how this whole situation sounds when you listen to what people have been saying about it. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.